So this is the final stretch of our 32-in-1 overview. Let's not waste any time and let's look at Star Force, a Tecmo space shooting classic from 1980X. I say 1980X because I don't know the exact year this thing came out, so I apologize because I didn't do the who cares? It's a space shooter, a pretty simple one at that. You just blow up enemies, you blow up the environment. You get a whole bunch of points, and every so often you fight a random target, which is a glowing box of some kind. And then if you beat it, you move on to the next area. There's supposed to be 25 plus areas, but it basically boils down to the same thing. Yeah, blowing up a bunch of random shit in the screen. Not much more to it than that. It's a pretty straightforward shooter. There's not a whole lot of, I guess there's like strategy to it, obviously, but it's not really a whole lot to it. You don't have a whole lot of power-ups. You get a power-up, which increases the speed of your shots, but that's about it. Interesting thing about Star Force is that when they brought it over to North America on the NES, and I say North America because I'm not sure if the Europeans got the version we got, or this version, but the NES version that we got, I just got a little extra light. The NES version that we got actually had some slightly enhanced graphics and music. So like the background music has a bit more beats to it, or more instrumentation, I should say. Whatever the proper term's supposed to be. Anyways, that's the alpha target. I beat it, and that's that. Then you got beta target, you cleared all the stages, you got beta target and stuff like that. It was a pretty fun game, pretty simple. A bit simplistic for some people's taste, but otherwise it's a pretty fun shooter if you're into shooters and simple shooters like that. It's a nice game. Circus Troupe, otherwise known as Circus Charlie, where you get to participate in a number of circus activities, such as riding the lion through fire hoops, which is always a classic. Anyways, I'm going to try and skim through this rather quickly. Maybe, just maybe, I might show you more than its fair share. And then try and go up here. I'm just going through that. Oh, sorry about that. I like to hum de tong. It's a catchy tune. You have to admit, it's a pretty catchy tune. And anyways, we're almost at the home stretch. Let's not screw this up. Nice and brilliant. And then you're on tightrope, and then you're riding balls. You're riding some other animals, I guess. And yeah, that's it. It's a pretty fun game for the most part. Again, it's a Konami arcade classic. That's also on the DS. Donkey Kong Jr. Can't go wrong with Donkey Kong Jr. You know, one of the few times where Mario is actually a villain as opposed to being the goody-good. Interesting thing is that the arcade intro to Donkey Kong Jr. actually had two Marios lifting the Donkey Kong cage. You could probably spot that intro on YouTube somewhere, which is how I was able to come across it. I never actually played the arcade version. I played this NES version. I played, and I also have copies of the Atari 2600 and 7800 versions of the game. And the 2600 version is not all that great. The 7800 version is actually pretty fun to play. It's almost on par with the NES version, save for the graphics and the sound, obviously. And I'm trying to use the platform to jump on the moving platform, but I keep missing. I'd figure, I do this incredible show of strength or something, and oh crap, crap. Almost fell in the crack. I almost expected to fall down at one point. For the most part, Donkey Kong Jr. is a pretty fun game for the most part. Some people will say it's better than the original. Probably not one of those people. I think they're almost pretty much the same, on the same level. Just each game has their own little unique twist. That's nice. You land on the platform and you slip. That's brilliant. Anyways, that covers most of the original unique titles. Now we're gonna go to Fancy Mary, which is the first hacked game, and it's pretty familiar territory to anybody who has seen my Super Mario Party overview cartridge. And it's pretty much the same deal here. For those of you who haven't seen it, the other one though, half the screen shows you what's going on in real time, and the other half shows you what's ahead in the level somewhat. But the only thing is that the graphics alone change, the actual layout doesn't. So it does make for an interesting challenge or headache, you know, depending on your point of view. And there we go. Yeah, this was also on that Super Mario Party Famicom Multicart that I did an overview on some time ago. And the only difference is I'm spending more time here than I am there for some reason. I guess just to show up with the game a little more since I have a little more time, I suppose. But the truth be told, there's not really a whole much to show off. Anyways, you see the platforms. Platforms up here. And that's Fancy Mary, which is not much to look at, and there's no flagpole. There's a flag, but there's no flagpole. Anyways, we're gonna end it off with the last game, Fancy Rider, which is Excitebike, but with the same bugs as Fancy Mary. I'm just gonna take any course, I don't care. I suck at Excitebike anyway, so what do I care? Oh, we got a crash. This would certainly make a game a bit more difficult than it usually would be. But yeah, what a way to end out this overview is with a buggy version of a game that wasn't all that great to begin with. Okay, so I think we're about done here. And that's the 32-in-1 game cartridge for Famicom. And if you have a converter to play on the NES, then you could play it on that too. It's pretty much the same thing. It's what I use on the FC Twin. Right over there, let's just zoom that in. Yeah, I got two FC Twins. One has the converter, the other doesn't, so... And they both work wonderfully. I bought one in 2007, the other one a year later, and they both work tremendously. As a matter of fact, that one I actually bought used, if you can believe that. A used clone system. That's... You had to be desperate for that, but still, you know, it works, so I can't really complain, but I'm digressing here. Anyways, 32-in-1. Pretty much most of the common suspects that you'll find on most multi-cart games, you'll find here. But even so, it's a really streamlined collection. Fairly solid collection, mind you. 32 games is nothing. No, 32. 29 games even is nothing to sneeze at. And surely back in the day, these would have went for like $100-200. Well, not these actually necessarily. But the NES multi-carts, like the bigger ones, the one that boast 100, 150 games, whatever. You probably saw that one already, but it's worth mentioning. In any case, this was actually my first Famicom. Well, actually, no, not my first. It's not the first Famicom multi-cart that I came across, but not the first Famicom game. The first Famicom game I picked up was Mario 3. Whether it's a legit version, no, probably not a legit version, but still, it's, you know, close enough. And it's a pretty solid collection, actually. I kind of liked it.
well worth it. I didn't get rid of it, and even if I wanted to, who would take it? Nobody I know has a Famicom or converter or anything to play these things on, even. But yeah, not a bad collection. I kind of like it. So just wanted to show that off, and yeah, nothing more to see here. Good night. Goodbye. Go away. Bye. Bye. Go. 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 Go.